Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Yan. I hope you're doing well, mate. I really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News yet again. Welcome. And yes, of course, Sod's Ruddy Law. As soon as I upload this morning, the kit launches immediately afterwards, just as I said it would. It is fire, and I like it. Some people are on the fence. I just think it's friggin' wicked. I do. I mean, all these 90s teasers, like, fine. You know, like, it's not the Nintendo sponsorship. I'm intrigued to see what sponsorship we go for and how it will look on the new Chelsea shirt. So I am interested in that. But, yeah, it's a great kit, man. We'll talk about that. I'm going to talk about Rayan Cherki a little bit more because it does look like we could be pushing for this player. And the big elephant in the room, Romelu Lukaku, not calling him an elephant, but the situation. I thank you for continuing to support the content. My new Mac arrives tomorrow. Not that particularly many of you care, but hopefully I'll be able to adjust all the sound and video and colouring, optimise it then, hopefully. So do join for the ride. Drop a like if you are excited, or if you like the new Chelsea kit. That would be a good way of seeing if everyone likes it. And yeah, if you do subscribe, hit the bell, please. Alright then, let's look. Pow! It's fire, man. I mean, I like the gold badge. It does look a little bit too shiny for me. I would have preferred if it was a little bit of a flatter gold. But mate, it's mustard, isn't it? I mean, I like the whole 90s. I mean, I grew up in the 90s. Not that I really give a crap about 90s style, but looking back, there is a sense of nostalgia now. It looks so much better on the players. I like the sleeves. I like the trim down the side of the ribs. I like the neck, how it sits. I like the pattern that you can't really see because they've deliberately gone for a 90s grain photo style here on Ben Chilwell modelling the new kit for us. Looking rather dashing. It's wicked, mate. It looks wicked. It doesn't have a sponsor. I would be an advocate of not playing with a sponsor for a year while we're not in the Champions League. Granted, our owners will understandably not be interested in doing that because it is their prerogative and inclination to maximise revenue. But, hoo-wee! That is a nice kit, man. That is superb. I'm happy. I am happy. Are you happy? Let me know. Like the video if you like the kit. Yeah, man, it'll be really interesting. If we get a cool sponsor, it might not... I mean, everyone wants a shirt without a sponsor. Often, they look a lot better. But if we get a really interesting aesthetic sponsor that's, in a way, iconic, it might, in a way, make the kit... I don't think it would look better, but it might make it look just as good rather than making it look worse. That is just my thoughts, feelings, and opinions, but I look forward to reading your comments on that down below. And yeah, let me know if you like it. Like the video if you do. Alright then. Alright. Just a little update on Lukaku. So, apparently he hasn't completely ruled out the idea of moving to the Saudi Pro League, though his preference remains to go to Inter, and he seemingly doesn't want to go to Juventus because it's an Inter rival. Who? What? He doesn't want to upset Inter, bro. You left them, and the ultras hated you, and then you screwed Chelsea over with your interview, your unsanctioned, disrespectful interview, which is just blows my mind still. Like the two things that Chelsea have done in recent years, that Chelsea players have done in recent years, that just absolutely blows my mind. Is Kepa? I was at Wembley when Kepa refused to come off, which was just Ansari stormed down the tunnel. I haven't seen anything like that, and I couldn't believe like something so dramatic and unnecessary was happening to my club. And Romelu Lukaku's interview. So if you just do your thing, man. Just keep pissing people off. Excuse me for swearing. You know, just go to Juventus. Because it's not like now or is it only Chelsea you're fine with upsetting? Although he has upset Milan fans before. Anyway, I would quite like the idea of him going to Juve, because if indeed Pochettino and the Chelsea hierarchy are interested in Dusan Vlahovic and think he's a profile we can work with, of course he's younger. For a while in his career, he looked very good. And we can just say Lukaku plus £20 million, which was the rumoured headline. That would be agreeable for me. And then you could put Vlahovic on hopefully a more modest, well, definitely a more modest wage structure than what Lukaku's being paid at Chelsea. But he doesn't want. Reportedly, he doesn't want to go to Juve. He doesn't want to go to Milan. But above all, top of his list, Romelu Lukaku doesn't want to go back to Chelsea. And Chelsea fans and the club don't want him back because of that as well, and because it just didn't work generally. Al Hilal are keeping the hopes alive. They've offered him a £70 million package over 3 years, but to his credit, he's willing to take a pay cut to return to Inter, so I don't think he's chasing the bag just yet. But if he wants to, the bag is there to be chased at Al Hilal. Over £70 million sterling for 3-year contracts. Incroyable. And as it stands, the Saudi club and Al Hilal are the only team that's willing to pay Chelsea's asking price. So it's interesting. It'd be a £40 million transfer fee and over £70 million wages. But that's how they do it. They're just paying massive wages and ideally low transfer fees. Although I believe they paid £45 million for Ruben Neves from Wolves. Our asking price, like we've been hoping to get 38 million, 40 million. If they just say here's 40 million, bang, take it. We all joked and dreamed about that Saudi money. Now give us 60, 70 million for Romelu Lukaku. Never gonna happen. If they give us 40 million pounds sterling, then yeah, no, not sterling. He can stay at Chelsea. I haven't given up open him just yet, but currency sterling. Then rip the hands off, let him like deal with, or let him just chase the bag and make loads of money out there. I think this will get resolved. He cannot fly out to America with us because it's just going to be such a conflicting influence. If he reports back for pre-season, he reports back to Cobham for me, and he doesn't get on the plane. I ain't get no plane. One for the teenagers there. Let me know. I'd be very interested in reading your thoughts on Lukaku. Does he go back to Inter? Does he swallow whatever pride there is and go to Juve, or does he chase the bag and go to Saudi, which apparently this report suggests, and Cy Phillips as well, he's obviously well informed of stuff behind the scenes. He has spoken on authority as well that Lukaku hasn't actually completely ruled out the idea of going to the Saudi Pro League. I think in his side, he's keeping that as a backup. It would suit us when it would get the most money, we'd get it up front, and we wouldn't get any silly business. So we'll see what happens there. We will watch it closely. Now, Paulo Dybala not coming to Chelsea. We spoke about that this morning. So Chelsea are interested in buying a cam, as the youths used to call it, a central attacking midfielder, the FIFA players out there, a forward, a number 10, a second striker. Of course, Dybala would have suited the mould perfectly, even if he wasn't top of the list originally. I think probably the £10 million buyout clause made him go whoop up that list. But yeah, he's nailed his colours to the mast in terms of staying at Roma for next campaign. So Chelsea, of course, Mason Mount's gone. Of course, Kai Havertz has gone. These profiles that suit that number 10 that Pochettino will utilise. No, I'm not going to talk about his comments on Dele Alli, because even considering Dele Alli coming to Chelsea feels like a fever dream right now. We can reflect on that if it gains traction, but I can't imagine it will. And dude's been just out in Turkey doing NOS balloons. He is not going to be ready for anything. I think also, I'm not talking about it. So, Rayan Cherki. Let's read an article from The Express, written by Jack McKerchen. Yeah. Chelsea have reportedly held talks over Leon wonder kid Rayan Cherki this summer as a potential Mason Mount replacement, as well as Kai Havertz, probably closer to a Kai Havertz replacement than Mount. The Blues have been, although you might say, well, Nkunku is a Havertz replacement, which could be true. The Blues have been focusing on outgoings this summer. So, of course, Mount's gone to United, Kovacic has gone to City, Havertz has gone to Arsenal, Loftus-Cheek and Pulisic have gone to Milan, and we're trying, Koulibaly and Mendy to Saudi. God, when you reel them off like this, a lot. Of course, there's Lukaku, Ziyech and Aubameyang, still high-profile exits to negotiate. Oh, Azpilicueta, we released him to go to Atletico Madrid, my brain. The Blues will perhaps feel they are lacking a creative spark in midfield of the pitch, with several of the midfielders already departed this summer, and they were looking to replace them with Cherki. So Cherki's a 19-year-old star. He's shone in France. He's made the debut at his club at just 16, so that's 3 years. Despite still being a teenager, a lot of experience at top level. The next off this special line of talents from the club's academy, you get so many good players from Liga, despite it being the fifth best league in the world, so not that high ranking. So many amazing footballers come from France. Now, Football.London has claimed that Chelsea are considering a move for Cherki and have a secret weapon in negotiations. The two clubs are on good terms after sealing a deal to bring back Malo Gusto to Stamford Bridge, and of course we allowed him to remain at Lyon to complete their campaign. Which is like a good thing to do. It's obviously what we did originally with Christian Pulisic and Dortmund, you might remember. While monitoring Gusto's progression, Chelsea scouts were also able to keep an eye on Cherki, and positive reports have helped lead to their interest in the teenager. However, Todd Boehly and co will likely have to depart with a fee in range of £43 million to land their man. Pay it, man. I'm not going to pretend I've watched lots of Rayan Cherki. I have not. But I'll tell you what I have done. I've looked at his creative metrics and his scouting report. We've done it here on the channel before. You can go and look at that. If we buy him, I'll probably pull it up again. This dude is scintillatingly creative. He is like, Enzo will be further up in the double pivot, hopefully next to Caicedo, and he will be able to utilize his creativity a little bit more. And Nkunku is kind of creative in combinational play. But ultimately, we're going to have people that try and get on the end of things. Sterling is going to try and get on the end of things. Mudryk's certainly going to try and get on the end of things. Noni Madueke makes himself available and will try and get into the box. But his final product isn't that great yet, Madueke. So he's not like a creative genius. He's like a problem for the opposition because he gets into the box. But in terms of like these playmakers, we need someone to feed all these people. And then, of course, we've got strikers like Jackson and Breuer, and maybe, quite possibly, a top-tier striker still to come. Rayan Cherki represents this creative player. In fact, he's perfect. And he's perfect for this Chelsea's new model of the Project 2030 with all these 19-year-olds. So in January, the Lyon president, Jean-Michel Aulas, publicly hit out at Paris Saint-Germain for making what he deemed an insulting offer for Cherki. He says this: "I had a long time with Nasser Al-Khalifi, who called me on Sunday evening to find out whether we were in negotiations for Rayan Cherki. I told him no. Nasser told me, okay, it's over, and he added PSG would therefore not make a new offer. I thank him for his direct and sincere contact. We did not enter negotiations, but the level of the offer was insulting." I mean, this is the thing with PSG, like, they'll spend 200 million on Mbappe, 200 million on Neymar, crazy wages on Messi, but then everyone else, they just throw a few million quid here and there. That was their model. They were like, buy 2 Galacticos or 3 with Messi in terms of all the money funneled into them, and then just try and populate sort of noobs around him. Obviously, they got like Verratti and stuff, and they did bring in Ramos and Wijnaldum. That didn't really work out. But, they don't spend much money in between and try and sign free transfers. And that's what largely really annoyed and frustrated Mbappe, because he was like, come on, we need like a team. And, I don't want to be Mbappe in vibes. So they probably saw Rayan Cherki as one of these players that they could not pay much for. But Chelsea, we have a respectful relationship with Lyon, and maybe this gives us a good opportunity to buy him. Though Chelsea and Lyon are said to hold a good relationship, the Premier League side may end up regretting their decision to bring Gusto back to England in February. I don't quite understand that. The defender was nursing a hamstring injury about the time, when he came back to Cobham at that time. French outlets suggested that Lyon were largely kept in the dark over his status before. Come on. But aside from that lack of information sent over to Gusto, the two clubs enjoy a fruitful relationship that could come to Chelsea's advantage when we step up interest for Cherki to bolster Pochettino's forward options. Look, man, Fabrizio Romano himself says as soon as Caicedo's done, and hopefully it will get done, Chelsea are working massively on offensive options. That's not saying one player, that's saying plural. And the way Pochettino has spoken in his press conference it sounds like players are coming. So you'd have to say striker and attacking midfielder. Striker could be anyone at this point. We could move for Lautaro, Vlahovic, Kolo Muani, whatever, you know, these names that are floating around. But Rayan Cherki fits the bill massively, I think. We've got loads of French speakers in the squad. Of course, we've got Lukaku, Malo Gusto, Thiago Silva speaks French. You know, all these players. Pochettino speaks French. He must do. He coached PSG. And Malo Gusto and Cherki are mates, I guess. Like, he could like tell them, look, man, something special is happening over here. We're building a super team. Yes, it was crap last season, but we're going to build something really, really special. There's a buzz in the air. The investment's there. The coach is here. The players are here. You can be part of this. Come on down to Chelsea Football Club and be part of the fun, exciting, happy times. Look, you want creativity, Pochi? He's your boy, I think, anyway, and he's very young. He could develop with this army of young talent that we've got that could literally 10, 12, 13 plus years. If we make it right, we can do it, you know. I'll be very interested in learning your thoughts, feelings, and opinions down in the comments, so please do leave them. Thank you for liking and subscribing to this channel, Football Therapy. Do go follow me on the socials, which is Instagram and Threads, @FootballYannick. And yeah, man, I look forward to seeing you guys back here very, very soon. Keep it locked.